And so it was in 2008, sort of these core ideas that are at the heart of DeepStack, but had really started being pioneered in 2007, 2008. We actually played against some top professional players in heads-up limit. So the limit game is where you're not allowed to make any bet you want to. You have to make a fixed size bet. This was still pretty popular in the mid 2000s, but sort of lost popularity shortly after that. And mostly what people know is the no limit game. And the no limit game is much more challenging, even once we made these first breakthrough techniques. DeepStack now marries those original ideas that worked for limit with a new notion, which I like to call it intuition. The way to handle a really big game like No Limit, where there's so many different options you can take, is that you really need to try to understand. You're not going to be able to come up with how you should play in every one of the possible situations. Like, what if they bet 100? I need to figure out what I should do. But what if they bet 101? Does that change things? Like, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. That's really what DeepStack is doing. Is it has to hone its intuition while simultaneously figuring out, given that intuition, how should I play? I'm really driven by the playful nature of things. Like, I think I've always been fascinated by my own attraction to games as an intellectual activity. Like, it really engages my brain, and there's this, games are so powerful. Like, we're starting to realize this just all through society, right? Like, gamification is a big deal about how do we actually build apps that make us want to exercise. Like, games seem really hardwired into our psyche, and I think because they're playing on these really valuable mechanisms in our head, that when we learn things, we get excited. And that's what really drives us. And I think trying to see AI do that has been a big part of what I get excited about.